Hello, Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome to the next episode, the third day in a row of Lightning Storm, the series where lightning always strikes twice as we talk about everything that has happened in the past week in the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Now, this should be the last video for this week up until this upcoming Saturday, because there is a lot of things that have been happening since Friday night for sure, and I think something that happened yesterday afternoon will finally kind of put to rest all of what's going on here and kind of finalize what we have. So, wow. So, I was waiting a little while to do this video. This video is based off of something that happened on Twitter yesterday afternoon, and the reason why I didn't immediately go make an emergency episode of Lightning Storm last night was because of two things. One, I wanted just to see where everything was at this point and just kind of let things sit for a second, because this is going to be a little bit more of an elaboration on the BLM Neptune code from yesterday, which I kind of half-assed made that video really quickly before we had all the information out. So this video will kind of maybe clear up some things from the past two episodes of Lightning Storm, because we have a little bit more of a better picture here. So I do apologize in advance if there was anything from the past two videos that is not going to be correct, which some of it is a little off and just of my predictions and theories and everything. But now that we kind of have a more full picture, we can get going on here. I'm not going to beat around the bush anymore. This is what I'm going to call the list of listings. This is something big. I think this is probably one of our biggest Lightning Collection leaks in terms of just what we have here that we really shouldn't have. But yep, let's get into this episode of Lightning Storm as we break down this list. Alright, so this is going to be a video breaking down the list of listings, but before we get into the list of listings is what I'm going to be calling it here. Let's just give you a brief backstory on what we have going on, just in case you haven't watched the last couple of days of Lightning Storm. So basically on Friday night, a listing was found on Eden's Spiel for a ZTH Venus code, which we figured would be CO, probably yellow, because Venus has popped up now twice and they've been using the planets for colors. So after that, early on Saturday morning, before I made the first episode of the typical Saturday Lightning Storm, we did have two more codes, the BLM Parsec and the Val Mercury codes come out, and those were found by GT Prime 17. And we talked about how there wasn't a fourth code found and everything. And then yesterday morning, a fourth code was found, which was BLM Neptune CAS. So CAS is actually part of the code. I originally thought it was maybe cutting off the word case, but no, it actually is part of the code for some reason. So we're going to get into all of that again, but there's more to it now because we kind of have a better picture of what's going on. So two things I'm just going to say that were completely wrong in my last two episodes of Lightning Storm, just first and foremost. On Saturday, I had a theory about what was the Wave 9 and Wave 10 lineups. Wrong. And yesterday, I had a theory that the In Space Pink figure could be in Wave 11. Also wrong. So just disregard all the stuff I said there on those two videos, because we have this magical list of listings to discuss here first. So, without further ado, let's get into it. This is pretty insane. So, this list comes from a reply to my tweet, which if you see me looking down, I'm looking down at my screen here to read it. So, I quote tweeted Julian yesterday, Martian Ranger, when he found the BLM Neptune code, and I said, no, that's new, because he was asking me if it was a listing that we hadn't seen before, and it was a listing we hadn't seen. Then we had a Twitter account at TomathZek116. They responded to my tweet saying, sorry, I've been sitting on those listings for a while. I see that Neptune CAS is on it also. Don't know if every one of them has been decoded because I have a hard time catching up with these names. And they included some screenshots. So the screenshots of this list is what I'm going to be discussing here, because there are three brand new codes in the list. There's information in the list that we kind of can put together with Waves 9 and 10. And even release dates. So I'm going to go through the whole list, even though there is stuff on here that is not relevant, because some of it is already out. So a lot of it, that part we don't need to go over in super detail, but I will break down the whole list here. Now, just a disclaimer here before I get into the list. Yes, I do know where the list came from. I know what store it is from, although I am not going to list the store. I'm not going to say the store name, just so that way the store doesn't get in trouble for this accidentally leaking out, because this is obviously not supposed to be public scene. So I'm not going to disclose the name of the store just for that. So I apologize if that is something you wanted to know. I don't feel comfortable giving that out. but I did have permission to share the screenshots that were in that tweet, and the tweet was a publicly posted tweet, so I felt like it was fine to discuss. So let's get into it. So let's look at this list. So this list is basically every retail Power Rangers Lightning Collection product that will be released in 2021 from Hasbro. So this list should not include, and it doesn't include, any store exclusives, the Comic-Con stuff, and anything that's going to come out in October, November, or December, because they kind of consider that the first quarter of the next year. So and you'll see that here because stuff that came out in December of 2020 is on this list for 2021, grouped in there, but obviously that stuff is already out. So things like Wave 11, for example, Wave 11 should be in December of 2021. That's not on this list, and it won't be on this list because they kind of consider that part of like the 2022 stuff, which is why whenever things in the fall kind of get announced and they're like, oh, it'll be out January 1st, whatever, because they kind of technically group it into the next year. So that's why it's not going to be on this list. So that's why we can just go ahead and quickly get through the top of the list. So the top of the list includes PRG LC 6-inch Mighty Morphin White Ranger figure, which says it was going to come out on December 1st. Of course, it did. The second thing on the list is where we start getting into some pretty interesting stuff. So we have PRG BLT BLM Mars, which of course we've talked about BLM Mars 1,000 times. You can see it here on the list. It's listed right before Dino Thunder Red, Mighty Morphin Green, and the Z Putty from Wave 7, which is why even more proof that it was always supposed to be in Wave 7, but it wasn't. But then you can scroll across and see that while the other three figures from Wave 7, the ones that we actually got, were listed for a December 1st, 2020 release, BLM Mars is listed for a June 1st, 2021 release, which will put it in Wave 9. So BLM Mars will be in Wave 9 based off of this spreadsheet, and Wave 9 is down there at the bottom too, which we will get to. So BLM Mars, finally, we can, I would say, almost certainly place it in Wave 9. So In Space Black, for some reason, just got bumped to Wave 9. That's fine. I'm happy we're going to get it. So there's that. Then we come after this, we get after Wave 7, our first brand new code of this spreadsheet, and this is going to be PRG New Hotel. So, don't know what that is. So there's the product number, there's the code. It will cost roughly, so translating the currency, it's like roughly $100, which I don't think is actually perfectly correct, which I'll get to in a second. But then also it has its release date of August 1st, 2021, so this will be a summer item. Now, this is something that I don't know what it would be necessarily. However, Hotel is a code that we've had before, so Hotel was used as the code name for helmet. However, that was in the old code system, so the Mighty Morphin White Ranger helmet and the Mighty Morphin Red Ranger helmet were both coded as Hotel. So unless this was just a random product still using the old code systems, I don't know if it would be a helmet, but since it is using a code from the old codes, it could be a helmet. New helmet, basically, is what that could say. And the price point of $100. So if you look at the individual prices for the figures, they have them listed, if you convert it, roughly like $26 per figure. So it is a little bit more inflated. So I wouldn't take too much consideration of thinking that the $100 price point would mean it's not a helmet. That could just be weird, conversion of currencies and stuff. So PRG New Helmet, or New Hotel, is a mystery. So we have the product number, we have the release date, and the existence of that happening. Now, I'm not surprised. I figured we would get a new helmet if this is a helmet. I figured we would get one in 2021 because we've had one the past 2 years in the summer. So this doesn't surprise me. So some helmet of some kind, likely a helmet, in the summer for an August 1st release. Then we have 4 things that are not very exciting. Actually, 8 things that aren't very exciting. So we have Keen Sphinx and Pumpkin Wrapper, we have In Space Red versus Astronema, we have SPD Blue versus A Squad, B Squad Blue. So all those things are already been out for quite a while, and they're just on here because they were listed in that last quarter of 2020 that kind of bled into 2021, so that's why they're there. Then we get into 2021 stuff. So we have Wave 8. So Wave 8 is here with, Lum Earth, Rad Neptune, LGY Jupiter, ZTH Mercury. So Dino Thunder Blue, SPD Pink, Zeo Green, and of course Lost Galaxy Red. So all the ones that we've known about. And also just to prove that is, correct, it has the March 1st pre-order date that was listed for those figures. It does say March 1st there. Then we get into the good stuff, all of the unreleased products. So everything else on the rest of this list is unreleased, and some of it is new. So we have the SRE iGuy and SRE Piranha's Head, which we are pretty confident in saying will be our Monsters Wave 2. They are listed for a June 1st, 2021 release according to this spreadsheet, so that would place them alongside Wave 9. So the theory that we were going to get verses and monsters every single wave does not seem to be true. Honestly, thankfully, that's not true, it seems. I definitely would not appreciate that in just terms of budgetary reasons. So it does list Monsters Wave 2 to be released alongside Wave 9 in June, but we have two things after it that are brand new. So we have LGY Little Bang and BLM Sputnik, which they are priced at the same price as the monsters and are listed for a September 1st release, 2021. So we're getting way far out there into the year, things that we won't see. Hasbro won't announce these things for a long time. I'm talking like probably not even like until July. So LGY Little Bang is interesting. So we had Big Bang before. For reference, Big Bang was King Sphinx in Wave 1 of the monsters. So I don't know if that is any way of helping us to figuring out what Little Bang is based off of what Big Bang is, but it does have the LGY code in front of it, so it is a Lost Galaxy figure. And then BLM Sputnik, no idea what Sputnik would be. However, BLM we should know by this point, is in space. We've seen it so many times in all these recent codes here that I think everyone knows that's what that means by this point. So in space something, Lost Galaxy something. So there are theories running around out there that maybe this is another subline, maybe a Battleizers subline or something, priced at the same $30 price point. I could see that being a logistic, possibility, a realistic possibility. So we'll just have to see what happens with those two. But we do have some kind of $30 priced Lost Galaxy figure and some kind of $30 priced in space figure that are both slated for release on September 1st, 2021, alongside Wave 10. So we have the Monsters Wave 2 in June. We have whatever this is, if this is Monsters Wave 3, if this is some other thing, Wave 1 for September. Then we have those battle packs, SRE Nuclear Venus and BLM Earth Silver Photon, which are listed both for a September 1st release, which is honestly a lot further away than I was expecting them to be. So it does look like we're going to get Versus Packs Wave 2 not until Wave 10, so which is interesting. I didn't think it was going to take that long to get them, but maybe apparently it is. So same codes we've seen before, nothing we can really further deep into on that. But next up is Wave 9. So Wave 9, of course, Rad Mercury, LGY Earth, and ZTH Tanga, all listed for June 1st, 2021, which I don't think is very surprising for anyone because we do seem to get a wave every 3 months, give or take. I mean, they get announced to come out every 3 months, but then they get found early, so you know how this works. So Wave 8 is slated for March. It's probably going to be found before March. Wave 9 will be slated for June. It will probably be found before June. So we did talk about earlier that BLM Mars was also slated for a June 1st release, and there's not a fourth figure here after these ones, also slated for June 1st, so we can just go ahead and slot that BLM Mars there right at the end of the Wave 9, and that will be your Wave 9. So we've already talked about that many times before. But then we have finally on this list Wave 10. So Wave 10 is the brand new codes that we just found. So BLM Parsec, Vel Mercury, ZTH Venus, and BLM Neptune Cass. So I had originally thought that because the product number is so much higher on BLM Neptune Cass, that it might be Wave 11 because it's not in the same number system as the other Wave 10 figures, but I guess it is Wave 10 because these four figures are all slated for September 1st, 2021, which also makes sense based off of the pattern. So that's it for the list. So this list shows Wave 7, 8, 9, 10, versus Wave 2, Monsters, and versus Wave 1, Monsters Wave 1 and 2, and then some other $30 price point thing, and the Mighty Morphin White re-release. And it also shows some new product that is probably a helmet in the summer. Wow. So don't expect any codes to be found anytime soon for any retail stuff. Pretty much anything that would leak for Lightning for the rest of the year would be store exclusive related things. Also, it's January 4th. So I can't believe we have all of this stuff 4 days into the year. Stuff that we're not going to see out for another 8 months at the least. Some of it we're not going to see for 5 months. So none of this is coming anytime soon necessarily, so I wouldn't expect Hasbro to turn around and be like, here's all of it. But pretty much the only surprises we would have for Lightning for the rest of the year would be Wave 11 would still be at the end of the year, probably in December. So we have whatever is going to come out in October, November, and December to look forward to still find. And we also have any store exclusives, Comic-Con exclusives, stuff like that, Hasbro Pulse exclusives, all that stuff. that they would sprinkle in between. So this is not going to be like the end-all be-all, everything lightning, nothing for us to talk about all year kind of thing. This does take a lot of it away. But yeah, pretty insane. I can't believe this is here. And yeah, so yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. I can't believe it's here. And one thing that is interesting though is that there is one figure missing. So the Mars Atom figure, which was found alongside the Wave 9 codes, is missing. Now, I believe I scanned it and it does, I think, pop up on Amazon alongside Walmart. So it doesn't seem to be a Walmart exclusive necessarily, but I don't know where Mars Atom is. So just like how BLM Mars was missing for a while until it's going to pop up here in Wave 9, Mars Atom is missing now too. So not going to be in Wave 9, not going to be in Wave 10, and it's not even on this spreadsheet. So I don't know where it is. So Mars Atom is missing, and I'm sure it will show up at some point, turn up somewhere. But let me know down in the comments below, what do you think those mystery codes are? Do you think they'll be monsters for In Space or Lost Galaxy? Or do you think they're going to dive into like battleizers and stuff, which would be awesome. I would love to see that. What do you think the new hotel code is? I'm thinking it's a helmet, but it could be something different. And yeah, just let me know what you think on all this stuff. And of course, if you want to see all the latest Lightning Collection stuff as it happens, you can follow me on Twitter at LivingRangerKey or at LightningFigPR for all personal stuff and Lightning Collection stuff on those two accounts. And that's all I got here on this episode of Lightning Storm. Thank you guys for watching the past 2 episodes, and I like making these emergency episodes whenever something happens. But yeah, thank you guys for watching them, and I guess I'll see you all next time on Lightning Storm, where lightning always strikes twice. I still can't even believe that this happened.